what are contingencies and challenges, or what fears or anxieties are there in place, and also what fears and anxieties do I have? Because if you've never been married to more than one woman, then you don't know what you're doing anyway. There are different dynamics. There are challenges that, again, you're not going to understand until you're in it. You can learn in theory about it. You can get our book and learn a number of different best practices and do well. However, you're not going to know until you are actually in it.
Warning, viewer discretion is advised. The content, views, and educational material you are about to experience could challenge your belief, trigger strong emotions, and frankly, piss you off. This isn't for everyone. If you're not ready to confront new ideas, or if your feelings bruise easily, this might be the time to click away. Expect to be challenged, to think, and you might even want to scream at the screen. Proceed with caution, and remember, you chose to be here. Let's get it.
I'm going to start today and address something, again, that's extremely important. It's the truth that not many people want you to know about. And I'm going to let you know that I'm going to come out right away and just say it. It's communication. Now, you might be like, oh, yeah, communication, of course, communication, yada, yada, yada. All right, here's the thing. We communicate with ourselves more than anyone else. So there are a number of different types of communication. One, that conversation you have to have with yourself. First of all, as a man, 90% of success in polygyny is making sure you choose correctly. And that's pretty much for any marriage. A person will be like, yeah, it's important to choose correctly. It absolutely is. To choose correctly, because no matter what situations and challenges you may go through, any ups and downs or successes or failures, you know that you chose someone correctly. So for me, the very important decision I had to make is in choice and choosing who you are going to marry. Now, you may already be married like I was, and the polygyny thing wasn't even something I was looking for in the future. I knew about it or heard about it, but that's pretty much it. It wasn't something that people really practice, so it's not something that I knew. But one thing I did know is that I wanted my wife to be somebody who believed in our Creator, believed in Allah Ta'ala, all right, who had iman, okay, who cared about her behavior, because that would allow someone to be self-checked, someone who is a God-fearing person, someone who knows that there's something bigger and that they are going to be held accountable. And they believe that if they're practicing that belief, that means that they will be regulated and be concerned about their behaviors. If that part is missing, there's no telling what a person will do one way or the other. Okay. So for me, that was the foundation. I had to make sure that I'm married to somebody that has that as a foundation, to have that as a man. That's number one. Okay. That's extremely important. Therefore, that applies to all wives across the board. For me, I think anything else would absolutely be uncivilized, but that's my opinion. You can do whatever you like to do, but I'm letting you know what at least best practices are, because now when it comes to conversations, or you hear things like, oh, that's below the belt, or that's evil, or that's this or that, or selfish. Well, many of those things come from the character of that individual. If that character doesn't have anything to tame it, or they don't feel that there's any repercussions for that behavior, whether in this life or the next, then you might just be ending up with something that's evil, and it is what it is. All right. So again, 90% of your success is going to come from the choice of women that you choose to marry, and knowing what values are important to you. Next part is communication. One, what is it that you're saying to yourself? Because the fact of the matter is, men lie all the time when it comes to polygyny. Now, it's not something that's necessarily malicious. A woman might ask her husband, if he's interested in polygyny. He might be interested in it, but nowhere near able to participate in it. So he doesn't see himself being able to participate in it. So he'll just simply respond, no, I'm not. Now, he's lying, because he probably, is interested in it, but that doesn't mean he's going to act on anything or even want to get into that discussion or anything like that at the time. All right. So yeah, that's the communication with yourself and where you are. Now, this is what I let brothers know who've never been married before, and they want to get married. They're excited to get married, never get married before, don't know what it's about at all. Marriage is a thing that you really learn on the ground. It's like swimming. You can read all you want to read about swimming, watch all the videos and all the stuff about swimming, but you're not going to learn how to swim until you get in the water. And when you get in the water, it becomes real. It's different. All right. Now, swimming is not the best example to use when it comes to marriage. It's not like, oh, now I'm married and I'm in the water. When you swim, you're like, oh, well, hold on, wait a minute now. Right? Make sure that I'm, the water, if the water come up to your neck and you still can stand up and sit to your neck, you start walking to your tiptoes a little bit. However, things that you learn in a marriage can't be learned outside of it. It's theoretical until you're in it, where it becomes practical in real life and it becomes, something that you embody. All right. But now communication is very important. Now, some of you might have thought, oh yeah, men lie all the time. Some women say they want an honest man and want to know the truth. Okay. Let me let you know something. It sounds better than it is in reality. Give an example. Your mother might ask your father, hey baby, how do I look in this dress? Now your daddy might be like, girl, you look good in that dress. You know you look good. You have my eye. Ooh, just like way back in the, whatever, when we first got married. Now, let's say that's not the case. And some of you might be smiling and laughing because you know what mom is thinking? Mom is like, ooh, I done got big. I done did this, these babies or something. Ooh, I love my mashed potatoes, my fried, whatever, her favorite dish. And she feels she put on a few pounds. And she knows this. She doesn't need him to say yes or no or whatever, but she's asking him the question to see. Now, she's not asking because she wants honesty. She's not asking because she wants truth. She's asking for that validation. Okay? He know why she asking. She know why she asking. And a wise man is going to say just what I told you. Say, baby, you look good. What you mean? You know you look good in that dress. Now, the fact of the matter, she may look good in the dress, but she may look better at a size that she prefers, that she already knows. So sometimes women will prefer a beautiful lie to an ugly truth. Now, I could have just said, you're fat, you done gained about 25 pounds, and I know how you like your body, but you didn't do this, and I see cellulite and blah, blah, blah. Now, there might be truth, and maybe honesty, and maybe rash, but that could be the truth in the situation. But who wants to hear that? Nobody wants to hear that. And it'd be stupid to say that, right? It's not really caring, compassionate. And let me show you something else that's not considered this lie, if you will. All right, baby, I'm about to go to the gym. You want to come to the gym with me? We should go to the gym together. That sounds innocent and all right. Now, she might hear exactly what your words say, but then she might also hear a totally different conversation with her communicating with herself. Is he saying I'm fat? Is he saying I'm out of shape and I can't do this? The husband didn't even say that. Man, father didn't say that at all. He just said, look, let's go to the gym together. He might be thinking that's a part of spending quality time because maybe he looked through the 5 love languages like, I would like to do that and, get my BDNF up, brain-derived neurotropic factor up and so on and sweat with my wife. And so and this type, he might be thinking that. But there's a whole nother conversation going on that you can't control that might be saying, hold on a minute. Is something wrong with me now? And now there's a little bit of friction. There's some challenges. There's some insecurities that's raised. All right. Again, basic stuff, but we as men need to know how that comes across. So when it comes to the polygyny discussion, just in general, you might have seen some of our videos where we role played some stuff or talked about some of the common ways of discussions can be brought up. One is knowing where you stand as a man. So going back to the original example that led to those other examples, when I let men know that you're about to get married for the first time, you don't know what marriage is, all that kind of stuff. It's like, listen, you don't want to shut any doors that may be open to you just because you are young, naive, and inexperienced. You may not have the intention of practicing polygyny, but you don't even know what marriage is to begin with. So don't shut any doors that may be open to you and work to have that discussion. Now, one of the major challenges I find is that men don't know who they married, basically because you've never had that discussion or been put in a situation to discuss polygyny where it's a reality or you're talking about it heart to heart or being truthful about it. Because now you may, let's say 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever, and now you want to talk about polygyny. Well, during this time, you likely built a family. Maybe there's some children involved. You have these ties, lots of rituals that you're doing, traditions and things that are going on. But now you're talking about polygyny and you don't expect this other backlash. Remember that first thing I was talking about with that foundation, the values of a man or faith, right? Or God-fearingness, if you will. Now this is like, whoa. Now there's threats, there are ultimatums, there's acting out, there's this type of thing. And as a man, you're like, hold up, wait, what? Well, we have to also, again, understand how that appears from multiple levels. How that appears as a threat, a challenge. Are you saying all these things? Or am I unfit? Just like, yo, baby, you look good in that dress. Or let's go to the gym. We don't know what she's thinking in her head. Women are women. There's no one particular thing and not a monolith. They can be all over the place. Some are cool with it. That's a minority just in general. But we have to be thinking for everybody. What are contingencies and challenges, or what fears or anxieties are there in place? And also, what fears and anxieties do I have? Because if you've never been married to more than one woman, then you don't know what you're doing anyway. There are different dynamics. There are challenges that, again, you're not going to understand until you're in it. You can learn in theory about it. You can get our book and learn a number of different best practices and do well. However, you're not going to know until you are actually in it. So with that being said, I'm strongly encouraging you to increase your ability to understand your own psychology as well as others. Because though you spend more time with yourself than anybody else, outside of you, you're going to be spending time with others. So when it comes to polygyny, know where you stand, be able to articulate it well. Caveat: